You better know what you heard. This ain't just hype, man. This is y'all know what it is. Red alert, unfiltered, uncut. Time to sound the alarm. Um, Reed Shepard did a giveaway in Houston, and Reed Shepard also did a presser. Interesting comments about his confidence when he was asked about his biggest improvement going into this year. He said this. Let me get the exact quote. Confidence. That's the quote in its totality. So what I will be doing is I'll be breaking that down right after this.
Red alert, red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
All right, let's go ahead and get right to it. That way I don't have to hold you up too long tonight. This is gonna be a quick one, as I always say. Um, First of all, shout out to Reed Shepard for ingratiating himself in the Houston community. Uh, you know, doing your thug thizzle and finding a way to help people who are in need or just want the extra help, to say the least. So we give a shout out to him for that. What I want to talk about is not that part. I mean, you really can't say enough about it, and I'm pretty sure there's been enough been said about it. And if he wanted to say a lot about it, he maybe would have said more. So um, it's not for me to sit up here and just go on a long rant about it. But I will say that that's one thing that our stars do, and I'm pretty sure all NBA stars do it. But our stars have always been very, um, how do you say, involved in things of that nature, as far as getting out and helping kids with back to school supplies, which is always important. Especially when they have like these school lists of stuff that you have to bring, which I always hated as a kid because you know when you come from the inner urban city ghetto urban ghetto situation, you kind of get to the point to where it's like, man, I'm not gonna have the big crayons. I'm gonna have the little cheap crayons, and this is gonna be the white girl sitting next to me with the big pretty crayons, and her coloring is gonna be different than mine. You know, so you just kind of learn how to flick your wrist, how to get your flickety flick on, and uh, make it look good with what you got. And it's like that with everything. Take out your pencils and let's write. You know, and you kind of either got to look around and ask somebody, can you borrow a pencil? Or, you might got a pen because you got your joints from, the school drive. And if they didn't give you enough pencils, by a couple of days, you lose a pencil on day one, day two. You might bring a pen to school on day three, day four, you know. So it's always, big thing for, when the teams in Houston go out and support kids doing things like going back to school and things like that. So shout out to that. I'm not trying to poo poo it by no stretch of the imagination. But what I am finna do is I'm finna talk about this particular comment. As you know, I have been on record multiple platforms since last year saying that Reed Shepard's confident would be the make or break of who he is. I mean, either you're going to be a superstar or not. Here's a problem, people. I'm gonna tell you the problem and I'm gonna tell you the solution. Here's the problem. And yes, I'm hyperbolic about my shit every now and again. So take it at face value. When I say things like, you know, I want to see the sauce. I want to see you come out and play with sauce, bro. It's just what I want to see. Why is that important? It's important that you come out and you play with that sauce, bro. Because if you don't play with that sauce, I can't tell if you confident or not. I can't tell if you confident or not. It's just me. It's just me. If you don't do the type of stuff that you dreamed about doing when you was playing in your yard, I don't know that you're confident.
Don't be alarmed, Renique.
I don't know if you're confident. I don't know if if I don't see if I don't see the bag, if I don't see the pull up and throw your hands up in the air, if I don't see the behind the back pass, if I don't see those type of things, how do I know that you confident? Did you practice them when you was at home? Did you imagine yourself doing that stuff when you was counting down the shot clock? You know, did you go through all these things in your head and assume that you would be able to do them when you got to the NBA and now you're at the NBA level and you don't do them? I have to be concerned. I have to be concerned. Now, with that being said, it's a lot for me to say since I'm not in the NBA. So, who am I to talk? I'll tell you who I am to talk. I'm just the old country boy. I'm just the old country boy. You know, if you see a guy like me sitting on the horse riding a horse and I don't have no style on that horse, you gonna be able to tell something about me. But I'm not confident on that horse. And it just goes without saying. The style in which you do things reflects your confidence. You know, if you shooting the ball, looking all scared, I'm just gonna think that you're scared. Now that don't mean I want you fading away, kicking your leg all out to the side like Jalen Green and not having no base when you shoot, not having no stability when you shoot the ball, not having no balance. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, if your follow through is timid, if it's all stiff and ain't fluent, then you can tell. You can tell he pushed that follow through, and he didn't shoot that ball. He didn't snap his wrist. He didn't spread your finger, snap your wrist. He pushed that follow through. And sometimes when you push that follow through, it just don't come out like it's supposed to. So I'm sitting back and I'm saying, you know, how important is Reed Shepard's confidence? Well, let me tell you like this. I think overall, Reed Shepard is two play. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alperen Sengun is the most important player on this team, hands down. Alperen Sengun is the most important player on this team. Here's the second part of that. It's two players that can solidify what team is going to be going into the future. because if Alperen Sengun just leveled off right where he is, he's still um what's his name? Sabonis. He's still Sabonis good right now. And if he just stayed that good and got smarter, he would still be a very good player. He would still be an all-star player if he stopped getting good right now. And he was just able to play defense the way he played last year and play offense the way he played his first, his second and third year. He would still be an all-star. But the player that's going to make this team get better, that's really going to contribute to where this team goes, is Armin Thompson and Reed Shepard. And I know people think it's Jabbar, but it's not. Jabbar is a very good player. Jabbar to me is no slight to Jabbar, but Jabbar to me is Carl Landry. Carl Landry. He's a very good player that we all like. But if we lost Jabbar and got a ton of other power forwards, we would still be just as good. Period. I mean, if you lost Jabbar and you get Larry Markkinen, are you worse? No, you better. You better. If we roll out a team with Armin Thompson, Tari Eason, you know, Kevin Durant, Larry Markkinen, and Alperen Sengun, are you worse? No, you're not. You better. And so if KD isn't there in the future, and we have, you know, Reed Shepard that's playing good, and Armin Thompson, Tari Eason, Larry Markkinen, and Alperen Sengun, that's you know, a lot of olive, palm colored people on the team, but that's a legitimate team. Here's my point. My point is Jabari is replaceable. What he does is replaceable. Being a switchable four that can shoot is replaceable. You can find that. You can find it. What you can't find is an Ahmed Thompson or a Tari Eason. What you can't find is a legitimate point guard with the skill set that Reed Shepard has. So yes, he talked about getting faster, which I think is the second most important part of this whole scenario. Is that I was thinking about this because I was like, do you get faster? You turn 16, 17 years old, you get to 18 or 19, do you get faster from there? Or do you just kind of start going down the older you get? I don't know. You know, I guess, if you look at like Olympic people, some of those guys, 21, 22, they get a little bit faster, 23, 22, but never when you get like, as far as I know, like you get like 25, 26, 27, I don't think you get too much faster, you know, than what you was when you was younger. I think you're at your fastest when you're young. And I could be wrong. I'm not no track dude. But point being is that speed is going to be very important. Speed is going to be very important. And, he say he in the weight room working on his speed and his defense. Great. Great. That is going to be the second most important part. The point I'm making is that overall, everybody knows how important Amin is to the future of this team. There is no replacing what he is or what he's expected to be. There's no replacing it. Like, it's not a player in the league right now that anybody would say at his age that you would say, hey, swap him out for Amin. There's not that guy. So, but at Reed Shepard's age, there are a lot of guys that you would say, maybe so, maybe so, let's do it, you know. But that is until we see what he does this year. If if his speed has improved any, which how do you improve your speed in 6 months? Who knows? But if his speed has improved any, and if his defense um is sustainable, as far as his um, defensive awareness, if that's sustainable, then you gotta look at it and you gotta say, hey, you know, this guy can be very valuable to the team. He can be valuable to the team. So I think Reed Shepard is actually, as far as the future of the team, he has like one of the biggest needle movers. He is one of the biggest needle movers as far as where the team can be in the future. You know, Obviously the hierarchy goes to me, Alpern, and Reed. And not to say that by the end of the year, won't be that guy, you know, but you have to look around and say, is there another center that can do what LP does? Yeah, but not at 23. There's not a 23-year-old that can do what LP does at all in the league. Show me the 23-year-old all-star, right? Right? Show me the 23-year-old big man all-star, right? Right? So it's not there. And not saying that it won't be, because obviously there's some guys coming out that got some stuff to say. You got Molly Wop going to Phoenix. You got what's the name? Yamin, little brother over there in Portland. You got you know, um the San Antonio dude, Charlene Monk out there, in San Antonio. There's gonna be some guys that's gonna make some noise, and they all on the West. They all on the West. Zach Eady, Donovan Clink, and they all on the West. So DeAndre Ayton might be an all-star if Luca just ball out of control and just force him to be. Who knows? But my point is this. My point is Al Pacino right now is the most valuable player to the team. He's the most important player to the team. Anybody else can be replaced. Armin Thompson is the second most important player on the team. Anybody else can be replaced. After that, the person that you really hope can be what we envision them being is Reed Shepard. Like Tari Eason is another one. If Tari Eason just stayed healthy, he's an NBA player right now. If he's healthy, he's an NBA player. It's Reed Shepard that if he stays where he's at right now, he'll be in the league, but he'll be on the bench, like Grayson Allen type shit. Like everybody thought he was gonna be a great shooter, but he never lived up to it type shit. And that's not what we expect Reed Shepard to be overall. So I think it's important that he, you know, does get his confidence in check. He has, and it's not one of those things to me like confidence ain't one of those things that you kind of can teach or you learn or like some people say, well, I'm confident in that shot because I practiced it all the time. Yeah, but what made you feel like you could even what made you feel like even practicing it was gonna get you to where you could shoot it, right? Right? It's something that makes you feel like, hey, if I practice this shot, I'll get to where I need to be, right? And if you practice something long enough, if you practice something long enough, yeah, you'll be confident that you can hit it. But I think it's something that going into something, you have to be confident that I can make this, I can be consistent at this if I practice it. Or I can do this if I try, right? And that's what we kind of need him to tap into. We kind of need Reed Shepard to tap into that. What was it that made you feel like I can go be a professional basketball player to begin with? Tap into that. Not the can I make a shot this game. If you're thinking about whether or not you can get on fire this particular game, you beat. You beat already. You have to tap into for your confidence level to be where it's supposed to be. You have to tap into what was it that made you feel like you can even be a basketball player. And I knew I was athletic. I knew that my mom and dad did it, and I know the game very well. Tap into that. Tap into that. And once you tap into that, that's where you'll breach your confidence at. Not in what you can do during at game time. If you worried about what you can do at game time, you beat already. So just some of the things that I was thinking about. I also don't believe that but as far as how many minutes he should play, I don't think the 12 minutes a game is enough in order for him to really get the in order for him to really get the experience that he needs to have by the time we get into the playoffs. I actually think Reece Shepard needs more minutes, more than 12 minutes in order to get to where we need him to be by the time he gets in the playoffs. If he because here's my thing. I think that Reed has to be on the floor with veteran players that make the game easy for him. Period. I mean, period. I mean, that's just it. You have to be out there with the guys that's gonna make the game easy for him. If he's not out there with guys, um, you know, it's a funny thing. I'm the kind of person to where, yeah, I'm starting Fred VanVleet, but I want Fred VanVleet off the court with KD and Reed Shepard on the court with KD. Just me. Just me. I want Reed Shepard on the court with KD, and I want Fred VanVleet on the court with Tari Eason and you know and the Clint Capellas. You know, let Fred VanVleet corral that second unit more, and let LP and KD run that first unit. And you let Fred VanVleet and Armin and Tari, you know, get their joints off on that second unit. And I know they're not coming in as a, like an infantry. They're not just coming in one, two, three, four, five people at once. But what I'm saying is, if I'm staggering minutes, I'm staggering Fred and KD a little bit to where I can get Reed on the floor with KD as much as possible without damaging the flow of the offense and the team. You know, Fred, you got your money locked in. If your money locked in and you don't have nothing to prove, and we want to keep you reserved, I want Reed on the floor with Kevin Durant as much as possible. That's the best thing for our team. That's what's going to build his confidence. That's what's going to allow him to have easy game planning, open looks, experience what it's like to play with one of the greatest players ever. And, Fred got to experience that. Fred got to play with Kawhi. Fred got to play with Kawhi, and Fred playing with Kawhi is one of the things that make us, you know, kind of draw in Fred a little bit to feel like, hey, look, Fred is that boy. He got to win a championship with Kawhi Leonard. And the way he played when Kawhi was on the floor, when Kawhi wasn't on the floor, it came from him getting playing time with Kawhi throughout that season. And I think we had the same kind of situation with Reed Shepard to where we can put him on the floor with Kevin Durant, give him more minutes than 12, get him some burn, and that's going to make Reed Shepard a better player going into the playoffs, which is when we're going to really need him. All right. So I'm not going to really just beat him up. He really didn't say anything wrong. I really appreciated what he said. I just felt like, he said what we all thinking, but for me, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, my confidence is going to be better. I already don't believe you. You know, for me, it's one of those things like, what's the what's the biggest thing that you bring into the season this year? What's the biggest difference between his game and this year and last year? And um, I would have liked to hear one of those Jalen things, one of those, I know I can shoot the lights out the ball, and I just have to be willing to shoot it when my team need me to. That's a that's a legitimate answer for me. That's a legitimate answer for me. I'm going to shoot the ball when my team need me to shoot it. That's not even about the confidence. But when you say, "Hey, my confidence," then I know you self-aware, and I can appreciate you being self-aware of the fact that your confidence was down. But I also the fact that you had to acknowledge it eh, kind of throw me off a little bit. It kind of throw me off the mark, make me feel like you're not really confident. You just talking about it, you know, lip service. You're giving lip service to the confidence. I don't believe it's really there. Um, I don't know. I'm just a different. I'm just different about basketball. I'm more or less one of those. You know, I gotta let it fly. You know what I mean? What's gonna be different between you this year and last year? Well, last year I was a little reserved, trying to make sure that I didn't um, make a lot of mistakes. But this year, I'm gonna let it fly a little bit more. Trying to dot a couple of I's. You know, my team put me out there for me to shoot the ball. I'm gonna be more than happy to try to help them with what they need me to do. But to just say what's the biggest difference, and you be like, yeah, my confidence is confidence. I'm more confident than I was last year. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's all cool, and that may be. Nah, but I think why they laughing super hard over that little joke. They got the hardest laugh. My audience give me the hardest laughs over the slightest jokes. But look, you know, let me know what you want to talk about in the chat. Hey, chat, y'all going crazy in the chat? No, y'all ain't going crazy in the chat. Okay. Well, let me know what you want to think about. And if you rolling in, hit the like and subscribe. You can hit the thumbs up. You can hit the thumbs down. Hey, it don't matter to me. Either way it go. You can do it for the free. You can do it for the free. But anyway, you know what I mean? This is just something I wanted to bring out, you know what I mean? Just a little something for the people. Just something for the people. We could talk about it, whether or not we feel like Reed Shepard is really gonna be confident, or that's all cap. Is it all cap, or is he really gonna be doing that? Is he really about that? What he talking about? He about that. I don't know. I don't know. Um, what else we got? What else we got? Looked at the schedule. Let me pull the schedule up if I can look at it right quick. And I can just run down. I looked at the schedule, man. I don't see no second place, bro. I looked at the schedule. I don't see no second place. I see first place. I see first place when I looked at the schedule. I'm gonna put it up right quick and give y'all my count since I'm just in here just shucking and jiving. You know what I mean? Let's see. Houston Rockets schedule. Actually, I could have pulled it up easier than this because I could have went straight to the Rockets web page. You know what I mean? But let me see. Who is Sony? Who is Sony? Who is Sony? Let's see what we got. All right, boom. Here we go. And I'm not gonna go through all 82 games. I ain't got that. But I'll give you wins right there. I'll give you win. Because here's the thing, we only got one player that, you know, Hawks got a couple of players that ain't up to par. We got only got one player that ain't really snapping like that, and that is Reed Shepard. So Reed Shepard, you the one guy that he- I mean, we're gonna beat the Hawks. We're gonna beat the Pelicans. Hawks, Jazz, yeah, all them preseason games. We snap on our foes. We snap on our foes. Okay, let's see. Let me pull this up right here so I can look at your boys. Pause. Let's see. So first game out the gate, Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a L. Um, Detroit Pistons. That's a L. Brooklyn Nets. That's a dub. Raptors. That's a dub. Celtics. That's a dub. Mavericks. That's a dub. Grizzlies. That's a L. Spurs. That's a L. Bucks. That's a dub. Wizards. Dub. Portland. Dub. Magic. L. Cleveland. L. Nuggets. L. Suns. Dub. Dubs. Dub. Jazz. L. L. Jazz. Kings. Dub. Suns. Dub. Mavericks. Dub. Pelicans. Dub. Nuggets. Dub. Kings. Dub. Clippers. Dub. Lakers. Lost. Cavaliers. Another lost. Pacers. Dub. Brooklyn. Dub. Let's see. Okay. Move this transparency out the way right quick. Let's go through it. Let me get on back over here. Keep this little transparency out the way. Um, Mavericks on Suns. Dang, we back on the Suns again. Nigga wants to play the Suns every 2 days. Goddamn, that's a dub. Portland, that's a dub. Portland, that's a dub. Kings, that's a dub. Bulls, dub. Oklahoma City, I say we get that second game. Um, Timberwolves, dub. Pelicans, dub. We get in the middle of this season, man. We gonna be rolling. I ain't gonna even hold you. Not in the middle, but around January, we rolling. Spurs, dub. 76ers, dub. Pistons, dub. Grizzlies, dub. Spurs, dub. Hawks, dub. Mavericks, dub. Pacers, dub. Celtics, dub. Hornets, dub. Thunder, lost. Clippers, lost. Clippers is on a back to back. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I was talking about earlier when I said if I have a game like this where we need to win one of these two games, I myself, I might would just go ahead and just play. They out there screaming like they homeless outside. I might would just play Kevin Durant on. I might well play Kevin Durant. Well, this ain't my exact what I was thinking about. But either way it go, I might will play Kevin Durant on the second night of this back to back. That's what I probably would do. I probably play Kevin Durant on the second night of this back to back because ultimately I want the advantage of him playing while they tired because I need to win one of these games and I might would let Tari go because Tari don't play on back to backs either. So I might would let Tari go first and then I would let Kevin Durant go second. And that way Tari can run them crazy. You know how Tari be running around and stuff. But he'll run them down and wear them out. And then on the second night of the back to back, Kevin Durant come in and finish them out. We might get both of those wins if you playing it like that because they got to run back to back, and then we know that their players is not going to hold up. We know that one of their players not going to probably even be there in February the 10th and 11th. So that's crazy. So Dub Dub one of those and lost one of those, and then we come Hornets, Dub, Knicks, lost, Jazz, Dub, Kings, Dub, well, lost. We got to lose one of them. Magic, lost. Magic, lost. Give us a loss to them. Because obviously by this time, I think we going into February. We in the middle of March. Guess what? In the middle of March, bro, this is what you got to know. After we play that Clippers game, matter of fact, before we even get through that Clippers games, I'm expecting Kevin Durant to then sat out at least a couple of days. Somewhere along the line of some of these games, Kevin Durant finna be sitting out, bro. They got to give him his vacation, man. And right here, we got a little. This is a little break. So we going fourth, fifth. Look at this. Second, fourth, and then the fifth. So this is a back to back too, where we had the Celtics and the Hornets back to back. So the Celtics and the Hornets back to back is a win. Okay, same thing. We supposed to beat the Celtics. Am I going? Matter of fact, Mavericks, Pacers, Celtics, Hornets. I might not even play Kevin Durant. I don't even know if I play Kevin Durant those games because three of those games is on the East. Before we go back to OKC, I don't even know if I play Kevin Durant at all. This is two, four, five. That's a 3 game stretch. That's really not a lot. But if you think about it, if he don't play two, if he don't play from the Pacers, okay, let's say this. Let's say in real life, January the 29th, we face the Hawks. Okay, 29th, 30th, the second. Okay, in real life, let me tell you, in real life, I think we can beat the Hawks without KD. I think we can beat the Maverick without KD because I don't think Cooper Flag is better than Amin Thompson, and I don't think nobody over there can stop Shane in real life. Kyrie not there. They got D'Lo. Okay, D'Lo, Fred VanVleet, even matchup. I think we can beat the Maverick without Kevin Durant. They don't have Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana, so I think. Let me make sure. I think we can beat Indiana without KD. Okay. So if I'm looking at it, the Celtics, we beat the Celtics without KD. The Hornet, the Hornets, we can beat the Hornets without KD. And then we got the Thunder, Clippers, and Clippers. Guess what? We not gonna win. Two of those games, we probably gonna lose anyway. Two of these games on the 7th and the 10th and the 11th, because the 10th and 11th is back to backs, and the 7th is the Thunder. So we might lose to the Thunder anyway, and then back to back. One of these games we're gonna win, one of them we're gonna lose to the Clippers. Or you think we're gonna go out and beat them twice? No, we're not gonna go out and beat them twice. We're gonna lose one of these games against the Clippers anyway. So guess what? I wouldn't play Kevin Durant until February the 21st. Listen, mark my words. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. Kevin Durant might play against the Spurs. He gonna probably play against that Grizzlies game on the 26th. 20, 26, 28, we play against the Spurs. After that Spurs game, bro, after that Spurs game, if Kevin Durant magically got hurt on the 28th, if Kevin Durant magically got hurt on the 28th and didn't come back to the 29th until what was that? Until the 21st. If he was out from January the 28th to February the 21st, that's what I would expect. And then he come right back in time to roll over the Jazz, roll over the Kings, roll over the Mavericks, roll over the Heat, roll over the Wizards, roll over the Warriors, roll over the Trailblazers, roll over the Spurs, roll over the Raptors, good battle against the Nuggets, roll over the Pelicans, come back, beat the Lakers since they beat us. We got a back to no, it's not back to back, but we play them twice in 2 days. Boom. Can we get both of those games from the Lakers? Where they beat us the first time, so we probably can get both of them on the 16th and the 18th. Cool. Okay. Boom. Got the Hawks again. Now, we didn't beat them 3 times. They gotta probably beat us once. I don't think we sweep the series, so maybe they get that one. Maybe the Heat get one right here. And then Bulls. Boom. We back on our winning streak against the Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Pelicans. We gotta get all that. Boom. Knicks. I think we I think we I'm thinking about the matchup against the Knicks. I don't know. That is what's it called? Mike Brown, who we've had problems with Mike Brown in the past. So I can't say how they gonna look with Jalen Brunson and all that this time. But then we beat the Bucks, so they probably gonna get us right here. And we not looking so good. But now we got the Jazz, we got the Warriors. Warriors beat us, we beat the Jazz. Boom. We roll over the Suns again. We sweeping them all season long and not get shit. And down the stretch, Phoenix, Minnesota, we win. Grizzlies, we win. We win out. So yeah, I expect Kevin Durant to be out from around January the 28th to February the 21st. Right? So that's about how I take it. And I think I got us right around 60. Cause that's a month. That's a month. I don't think he's gonna miss a lot of time, but I think that just that little spell right there is dang. But that's All Star too, ain't it? That's during the All Star break. Oh shit. You're not gonna be able to be out during the All Star break. Let me go back and look at that again. Let me go back and look at that little in season tournament. Okay, that's right there. So this January, I see January 28th, right? Where is the All Star break? Hmm. Okay, they don't even have it marked over here on this calendar. But all things considered, we know usually it's around that time though. But even if if All Star break was last year was what, February or what, early February. Let me Google. Let me see when the All Star break. Let's look at it. What day? No, 2026. The All-Star break is, come on now, Vladi Zubac. Got the boy Vladi Dubac out there, man. Let me see. All-Star break. Yeah, man, my computer been acting a donkey. So I've been having some little problems in it. But it's all right. We're gonna get it worked out. February the 15th. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The All-Star break on the February the 15th. Nah, he's not gonna be out that time. Because that means he would have to be out during the All-Star game. If he was hurt at the end, yeah, if he was hurt during the All-Star game, he would be hurt during the All-Star game. Which mm, if they doing something corny, let me tell you something. If they doing something corny like if they doing that European players versus American players crap, he might be hurt. I don't know why people hyping that mess up. That's one of the most corniest things they ever said in their life. Let's let's do Americans versus Europeans. What we gonna do next? Shirts versus t-shirts? No shirts versus shirts. What they call it? Skins and shirts. They're gonna do skins and shirts next. Absolutely ridiculous. One of the most ridiculous ideas I ever heard of in my life. Let's do Americans versus Europeans. But if they do American versus European, that's gonna make them play hard. That's gonna make them not play. That is a slap in the face. You know why it's a slap in the face? You know why it's a slap in the face? Because collectively, what you're doing is you're saying, we want y'all to play hard. So what we're gonna do is we we're gonna draw a line in the sand against people who we think play hard and people who we think don't play hard. And guess what they're doing? They saying these Negroes don't got no damn home training. They trying to do whatever they want to do. So we're gonna put them against some people who we think got some damn home training, who mama taught them how to do what they supposed to do when they supposed to do it. But the point is this. The point is when you at your apex, when you at your apex, you don't want nobody telling you your your peak, what you see on your peak, on your plateau. Like how you gonna tell LeBron James what a good basketball, a fun hooping experience feels like to him? To him, what does it feel like to have fun playing basketball? No, they know what it feel like to play and lollygag around and have fun playing basketball, doing the same thing. When y'all have a celebrity all-star basketball game and they put out the celebrity all-star basketball game, and I don't see them whining about that. I don't see them talking about let's play whites against blacks in the celebrity all-star basketball game. You got Casanat out there. You got Casanat out there and Drewski in the celebrity all-star basketball game, and you're not talking about playing whites against blacks. So why would you take the professional players and try to tell the professional players what's fun basketball to them? No, what's fun basketball to them is let's get out here and lollygag and shoot some half-court shots and play fast-paced horse and throw alleys and see who can get the fast break dunk in game and play a little bit of defense when the clock about to run down for some hours. for some hours. We still running for 2 whole complete hours though, bro. And people are complaining. People are complaining about the All-Star game. When these dudes are running for 2 complete straight hours. The audacity of people to complain about an all-star game not being good. And then they come out there with Casanat and who else they had out there? Jelly Roll or somebody was out there with them. Come on, bro. I don't know. I'm just not on. I'm not on the bandwagon of the All Star game. Need to be um Euro players versus Americans. I'm not on that. Tell me what you think about that. Do you think the All Star game should be Euro players versus Americans? Do you think that's gonna make the game better? Come on now, give me a break. Give me a break. Like, what does that look like? You got Alpha Shango playing with the Euros, and you got Kevin Durant playing with the American team. Oh yeah, then you got to have the new Chinese dude and Victor Wembanyama automatically playing in the All Star game. So you got 3 centers automatically on the All Star side, all of them on the West. No bigs from the East can play except for Giannis. Well, I forgot Giannis. I forgot, but that's a power forward. So you got Giannis, Albert Shangoon, Victor Wembanyama, and then the Chinese dude that's in Portland. All of them, everybody, and then who is your guards? Who is your guards? Because America is America, whether it's North America or South America, it's America. It's America. It's America. You can't tell me that you're gonna give Canada to the Europeans, to the Euro Basketball League, because Canada is not Europe. Canada is America. So they trying to say, well, Shea Gilgeous Alexander be on the European side. Why? He's not in Europe. Dylan Brooks is not in Europe. You gonna have to go Dennis Schroeder, Chetty Osman. Really? That's what you gonna do? You finna pull out Dennis Schroeder and Chetty Osman and um Franz Wagner, Franz Wagner and Victor, just because they got Joker. I forgot about Joker. Just because they got Joker, Greek Freak, Alpha Shangoon, Victor Wembanyama, that's all bigs. Who is gonna be their guards? Who's gonna be their wings? Zachary Risachet? So y'all gonna have Zachary Risachet playing against LeBron James? Oh yeah, okay, they got Luca. Okay. Okay, so you got Luca. Okay, okay, I can kind of see it shaping out. Who your wings? You got wing defenders. You got wing defenders who can hold LeBron and Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards. You got wings who can hold them. And first of all, I know you don't think that nobody finna hold Steph Curry. It's just a stupid. It's just a stupid move. That's just a stupid move. That's just. I'm gonna tell you what that is. That's just people hearing people say stuff over and over again, and then like being brainwashed by it. I'm so hard to brainwash that once I fall into the trap of listening to something long enough and I hear it enough and I hear it enough, then it's kind of like, I just don't. I just don't believe that makes sense. It just don't make sense. And what am I talking about? I just don't think the All Star game is that bad to where we got a wholesale change up because people is crying about how bad the All Star game is. It's an All Star game. Oh, it ain't. but it ain't what it used to be back in Magic Johnson. Eh, 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 eh. Guess what? Guess what? If Magic Johnson got hurt or Michael Jordan got hurt and they missed games, I don't think they missed too much of nothing. But they never got hurt. If these guys get hurt, you know what happens to them? They pretty much ruin their chance of winning the championship and ruin their whole legacy because every person who has an impact on them that something impacts them impacts their whole legacy. And these guys are smart enough to know I'm not gonna let you impact my whole legacy based off an all-star game. You think I'm gonna go out here and one bad move? And people talk about LeBron not wanting to be in the dunk contest. Why? For what? You want me to go out here be in a dunk contest so y'all can let Sharif Abdul Rahim win it, and then y'all can say, well, he didn't win a dunk contest and Jordan did. Why? Why would he do that? Why would he do it? Why would he do it? Why would he do it? It don't make no sense. It would be, to me, it would be the most irresponsible thing he can do for his legacy and his brand to go and do the dunk contest. I'm so glad he never done a dunk contest. It's amazing. Y'all would not believe how incredibly proud I am of LeBron James for not being baited into doing the dunk contest. Because all it was going to be was he go out there and do the dunk contest and he lose it the first time so that y'all could try to make him come back the next time and win it. And then if he don't come back the next time and win it, then boom, he not Jordan. But but he lost the first time, so he not Jordan. So the fact that he just didn't do it, I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't. I wouldn't have done it either because I already knew what the play was. He already knew the play. He already knew the play was that. Oh, he go out there, his dunk is not, oh, it's not this, it's not that, and the next person doing this creative ass shit, double between the back, windmill, dunk. And he dunks with power. He's a power dunker. So what's gonna be his move? Dunk it real, real hard, and then what? He lose, and then he lose and what? Well, he didn't win a dunk contest, and Jordan did. He can never be the greatest. Nah, we ain't gonna give you that. We ain't gonna give you that play. So I'm glad he didn't fall for it. He didn't fall for the okie doke. And people started getting mad. And because they got mad at him for not participating in the dunk contest, they transferred their hate from the dunk contest to the All-Star game. Now remember what I said. What's the difference between the NBA All-Star game and the Celebrity All-Star game? They both there for entertainment. But because they was mad at LeBron for not participating in the dunk contest, they transferred their being mad at him for not participating in that to the All-Star game and start blasting on the All-Star game. When really we know it's an All-Star game. There's no reason for them to go out there and just go super dumb hard. Because they the ones that's out there playing. They throwing alleys and having. Now let me tell you something. Nobody can tell me that when Steph and Dame was going half court three for half court three, that wasn't exciting. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that when Steph and Dame was going half court three for half court three, that wasn't exciting basketball because it was. Just like when Tatum and Jalen Brown D'ing each other up. That's exciting basketball. That's exciting basketball. Kyrie on Victor Wembanyama, exciting basketball. Exciting basketball. No different than Shaq out there trying to cross over people. Boom, boom, boom. Hesitate, dribbling, trying to cross over people, and then shooting the air ball. It's an all-star game, bro. So I don't see what the big fuss about it is to where they want to try to make it European, but I'm not for it. I'm not for it. And I don't think the NBA players should go for it. I don't think KD should want to play in nothing like that. And overall, if he's sitting out during the All Star break, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I tell you something else about it. Tell you something else. If they do this, if they make this a big deal to where they want to say that the All Star game is going to be Europeans versus America, it's going to be stupid because they never going to be able to make a complete lineup of players. There's never going to be a complete lineup of players. There's no way that they can come up with a whole roster of players that would be a legitimate team to compete. So I don't know. I just think it's overkill. I think that Kevin Durant should be sitting out during the middle part of the year. And I mean, I know he want to go to the All Star game. I don't Has he ever missed the All Star game? I don't know if Kevin Durant has ever missed the All Star game, but if he was sitting out during the middle of the year this year from January the 28th to February 21st, I wouldn't be surprised. But that would mean he would have to miss the All Star game. But that's our best stretch for him to sit out, you know, and that would give our team a good opportunity to, win some of those games without him being there and still come in, right at the end and win a couple of games after the All Star break and come back in, right for him to be back in time to go up against New York. All right, now what else? What else we got? What else we got on the docket? What else we got on the docket? Um, the replays, the the highlights from the playoffs. I'm probably gonna pull up that next joint. I'm probably gonna pull up that next joint from playoff game number two, from game number two, and probably run that back this weekend just to go over it, look at it again. But I think at this point, you know, I'm pretty settled into what I watched and played the crazy numbers on. And I mean, I just tell you flat out, man, it was simple for me. Moody was gonna make some threes. Parzinski was gonna make some threes. Amin and Tari was gonna get some steals. Alper Shangun was gonna make some points. You know, and Jimmy Butler was gonna make some points if he played. But you know, that was it. That was it. Nothing else was definite. Everything else was crazy. Everything else was crazy. And I can show you my receipts on what was hitting every time and what wasn't. And I guarantee you, it was Alper Shangun hitting every time. You know, but I'm liking the attention that Alper Shangun is getting overseas. Um, Obviously, he's not putting up more Laurie Marketing numbers over there. Cause Laurie Marketing is doing the Foolie Wayne. Laurie Marketing is balling out of control. He is showing that he still is that boy. Like people like sleep on Larry Marketing, but every offseason it's like, man, I wish we can get Larry Marketing. And Danny Ainge is holding on to him, letting him waste his career because Danny Ainge is how do you say? Let's just say he would love the opportunity to have a team full of Larry Birds if he could just get them all and keep them over there. He would love to have a Larry Bird on his team and just keep him and let him waste his whole career doing absolutely nothing just to say, "Hey, I'm on the team and we got us one of these players over here that this," and he'll just keep him and give him and make him way more valuable than what he is. He's not valuable on a team by itself. He would be way more valuable on a team where he could get some exposure or be a contributing factor to a team while he's still in this, has good years ahead of him. I mean, he is always hurt, but not as much as some other people. But, you know, you could imagine Larry Markin on a team with anybody. He's the kind of player that literally can fit anywhere. But mm, who do you think is more valuable to their team, Larry Markkinen or Alperen Sengun? I mean, obviously Markkinen is scoring crazy points, but like Sengun is taking over games. He's taking over games and winning these games. Um, off of just determination and knowing when to put his imprint on the game. I don't know. I don't know. But I do believe this. I do believe this. I think. Let me tell you what I think. Do you feel like the leash is long with Ime Udoka? Do you feel like it's actually a long leash with Ime Udoka, or do you feel like his leash is gonna get shorter these next couple of years? I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. I'm a little concerned about the leeway that he has and how much leeway he's going to be given going in the future. I think personally that he's going to have to show and prove his ability to adapt offensively, um, and he's going to have to show his ability to accentuate the skill set of certain players and allow them to be themselves. I tell you this. One of the biggest things that I seen about Ime Udoka is that Alpha Shangoon's offense got worse under Udoka. His offense got worse. His defense got better, but his offense got worse. I ask you, do you think a player that is being limited, that's being prohibited from playing a certain way or doing certain things because he's, you know, scared to get chewed out or whatever, and his way of playing basketball is being limited, do you think that's good for basketball in general, the development of that player also, and for the team overall? See, I don't. I don't. I don't think you get Magic Johnson on your team and then say, "Hey, Magic, no more no look passes. No more no look passes." You turn the ball. Steve Nash. You get Steve Nash on your team and be like, "No more no look passes, Steve Nash. You got 5 turnovers. No more." I don't see how you do that as a coach. And I think that if you start to take those elements away from certain people's game, you stifle the growth of that player, and you also stifle the creativity of your team, the players around that player's confidence, and also your ability to to catch other defenses and teams off guard. I don't know. So I'm a little worried about what Ime Udoka's gonna is he messing up Alpha Shango's game? That's just it. I mean, I don't really care what nobody got to say about it. I like Ime. People know how much I like Ime. He wasn't my first choice. Mark Jackson was obviously my first choice of coach, and then I probably would have tried to get Kenny Smith or Sam Purcell. But I mean, Ime was right there. He was right there in the mix with those guys. Um, but if he is looking like he's messing up Alpha Shango's game, I don't know how long you keep him. I don't know how long you keep him. If you take it at face value and you say, "Hey, I like I like Lamelo Ball or I like Rajon Rondo," Are you gonna let Rajon Rondo do it behind the back pass? You gonna let Rajon Rondo? I mean, I know Rondo don't turn over the ball, man. It's not about that. Steve Nash had more turnovers than most any other point guard, but it was still the way that he played that made Phoenix operate the way that they operate. Now, if you start taking that type of stuff away from people's game because you making them feel like if they make a mistake, you gonna bite your tongue off or something like that, trying to cuss them out. You know, one thing I like about Rick Adelman, Mike D'Antoni, them guys was gonna let you play your style of basketball. They was gonna make your style of basketball look very good, and that's why they are offensive coaches. And Ime Udoka's not an offensive coach. If you tell me who's the better offensive coach, Ime Udoka or Mike D'Antoni, Mike D'Antoni all day. What do we know about Mike D'Antoni? He let guys play the way that they played. If they threw a behind the back pass, hey, throw it again, but this time don't turn the ball over. He's not going to tell you, cuss you up and down the sidewalk just because that's what he knows how to do, and then make you don't want to throw the pass again because he's taking away from your game. How does Magic, if Magic Johnson was Ime Udoka's player right now, would Ime change Magic Johnson the way he plays basketball? He'd have him coming out there, don't do a no look pass, don't be skipping down the court and smiling. I don't want to see you smiling on the court. I don't know. My point is, at some point, this guy leash could run out if he's hindering players' growth. That's just my take. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a defensive first player. I love defense. I love defense. I love defense. But even the very next thing that I love is passing. I love defense. And I mean, they 1A and 1B. You can play defense and pass the ball well. Those two things, to me, can win your championship. Just great defense and great passing can win your championship. And if your defense is on hit, but your passing, your offense ain't on hit, or I don't know. I like the shit. I like the way Al Pachenko play basketball. I don't want Ime stunting his growth offensively. I mean, if the dude got the ability to be better offensively, and Ime's keeping him around 23 points and a certain amount of assists, when he could really be doing more, you got to look at Ime on that end. You got to look at Ime on that end, and then you want to bring in Kevin Durant and say, "Hey, well, KD, come bail me out." You know, KD can come bail you out, but KD ain't gonna be here forever. KD ain't gonna be here forever. You see? So what happened when KD gone? What you got going for you? You gonna want another efficient shooter to come in and bail you out who already efficient, or is your offense ever gonna make somebody better? Nope, nope, nope. Because you're gonna shoot a bunch of threes and you're gonna miss a bunch of threes because you don't got 3-point shooters on your team. And guess what? Even if you got 3-point shooters on your team, if if you're not putting them in a position to where they're confident and to where the offense is free flowing, that 3-point shot is just as good as it's just as bad as a contested shot. If there's no rhythm to the game, that 3-point shot is just as bad as a contested shot, even if it is open. Because basketball is played with a rhythm. The way we play it, the way we play it now, you know, I don't know how you play it, in Czechoslovakia or some shit, but over here we play with a rhythm. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem if your offense stays like it is right now, and the only thing that changes is Kevin Durant. Somebody, I think that's my boy BMO. BMO always be saying that Ime don't like he want Reed Shepard out of here. He always saying, shout out to BMO, man. Shout out to the boys, man. BMO always saying Ime ain't effing with Reed Shepard. And I always be like, no, I don't know if that's true. But when you think about it, honestly, when you think about it, it might be true. It might be true. He might be so wrapped up in this restricted form of basketball that he don't have the room or the space, um, the grace to grant players to get better. And not like I'm not saying like they say we're not in the developmental stage. I'm not talking about developmental. What I'm talking about is allowing a person to play their game. Letting that person games be the catalyst to what makes them better. And that could be a problem. That could be a big problem. Because overall, what happens is you take a player like Ray Shepard who could be getting better. And if he's not developing his game, what you're doing is trying to teach him a new way to play basketball. So it's not about see, it's one thing to get a guy and teach them the rules of basketball that they don't know. You don't know how to play basketball. We want to teach you how to play basketball. But it's another whole total thing if you're trying to teach a guy a new way to play basketball. You know, I like to dribble the ball to my right and cross over left. Well, we want you to dribble the ball backwards and butterfly dribble through your legs. A new way to play basketball is totally different when you're trying to teach a guy a whole new way to play basketball. And that's what I'm kind of afraid of as far as the Houston Rockets because, like I say, it's one thing to teach a guy the game, you know, playing defense, running offense, or which sets and learning how to learn and how to study, just how to play basketball, adding more to what you already know is different than you made it this far by doing XYZ. Now go back and change XYZ. And then we're gonna teach you everything from A to W. You see what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. Let me keep my XYZ and then you teach me A to W. I don't mind learning the A to W, the shit that I don't know. But my XYZ is what got me here. Let me keep that like it is. You know? That's just my take. That's just how I feel about it. And once you get out of that pocket to where you allow people the ability to play their game, I think I mean, it's like having a good cook. It's like having a good chef on the line. If you got a chef that like to spin the tongs before he grabs something, or you got a chef that he flips something, he flips something every now and again before he hit the plate. You really don't want to stop them from doing that. That's their rhythm, that's their flair, that's their style, and sometimes that's just the momentum that that's their rhythm. And once you start taking that away from their rhythm, you're gonna mess up the whole way that they have learned how to function. That's just my take. So that's another one. I hope Ime don't stifle Albert Shango's growth. Guess what else that means? It also means this. It also means this. Ime could very well not be the best person to teach Amin Thompson how to be the best Amin Thompson. This is gonna really this is gonna really shake up some people. And don't get me wrong, like I said, Ime's one of my top choices for coaches. He was definitely one of my top choices. I wouldn't have picked anybody other than somebody who played for the Rockets over Ime. Period. If you didn't play for the Houston Rockets, I wasn't going to pick you over Ime. Period. The only players that I wanted more than Ime was players who played for Houston. Okay. With that being said, can Armin Thompson be a better offensive player under another coach? Well, it's kind of here nor there because the thing is that if you take a coach like Rick Adelman, Armin Thompson just becomes Daniel House, right? If you take a coach like Rick Adelman, Armin Thompson becomes Daniel House, Trevor Ariza, Robert Covington, right? So I'm not saying that far, but I'm saying if there's a coach that could develop a Larry Brown type coach, I know that's a little past some of y'all time, but Rudy Tom Johnovich, Larry Brown, these kind of coaches had the ability to allow players to be in that element and develop them as offensive players. Rudy was excellent at making players better offensively. Rudy was excellent at developing players offensively. But I just don't know if Ime is. And I'm not saying that he's not. I don't know if he is because Ahmed is so incredible that ultimately his ability his 14 points that he scored, we don't know if that was the most he could have done, or was that just what he just did, just trying to help out. It could have been a situation to where Ahmed playing under another coach would have been scoring 25 last year. We don't even know. Or if he would have been 14 and 10 last year. Because you can also look at it and say, under a coach like Mike D'Antoni, he might just would have gave Ahmed the ball and just said, "Hey, look, you the point guard. Get the ball and zoom down the court full speed and go score. If they don't stop you, go score every time." You know how Mike D'Antoni would have did it. Mike D'Antoni would have said, "Just get the ball off the rim and just go straight down the court and go score." Hey, matter of fact, come down right here. If they cut you off, pass the ball and just stand right there at the top of the free throw line. When the ball come off the rim, shoot down the court at full speed. They're gonna throw it to you. And you just run from 3-point line to 3-point line. You don't even gotta run all the way to the court.
Red alert, catch your body, hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body, hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, in the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, in the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't mess.
My bad, my bad. That's definitely the like all of a sudden thing about it, man. All of a sudden thing about it, that's just how it go down. But anyway, look, so we're gonna do it, man. I'm going to go give me some ice, and I'm gonna let y'all check this out for a little while until I come back, and I'm gonna come back and then we'll kick back out with part two. All right, got here. Hold on.
Red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't mess.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right, I appreciate y'all patience while we get back into the last couple of little topics that I want to talk about. At this point, I'm not going to do a lot of ranting. Like I said, I wasn't going to keep y'all on too long tonight, but I did want to, I wanted to put some of this stuff out just for the simple fact of, I don't want it to come in the season and then people say, well, nobody said none of that. Nobody said none of that. No, that's not a fact because I said it. But I said it. I said what I said about Reed Shepard, about Ime Udoka, about Kevin Durant, about the All Star game, about Albert Shangoon, about Armin Thompson, about Tari Eason. What I didn't talk about Reed Shepard was the getting some run in with Clint Capella. I touched on it a little bit about the fact that I think that about the fact that I think that him getting run with Clint Capella is can I say that I think that ultimately it might be a little less important than him getting in run with, Kevin Durant. Obviously so. Obviously so. You know, I don't know if Reed Shepard has reached out to Kevin Durant or not, but he said he got run in with Albert Shangon. I would suggest, you know, and I'm like I said, I'm just a country boy. I'm not a professional Houston Rockets basketball player, nothing like that. But I would definitely suggest that he found a way to get in touch with Kevin Durant and try to get some running with Kevin Durant because I think the stack of minutes between him and Fred VanVleet are going to be very important. So that's one of the things that I took away from the interview portion of his presser also is that while getting in and run with Albert Shango is important, I mean not Albert Shango, but Clint Capella is important. How important is it? It's going to be important for the preseason. You know, it's going to be important for the preseason. But during the season, do you want Reed Shepard and Clint Capella on the floor together a lot in the regular season? Is that what you're going for? Are you going for Clint Capella, Reed Shepard on the court moment? No, I don't think so. I think that's just stereotypical, like, this is what you expect from second unit guys. And Reed is like, okay, well, I'm probably the second unit point guard, third unit point guard. Clint is probably the third unit center. We'll be playing against the first stringers in practice. So we need to practice together so we can get better together and just have built that kind of camaraderie in practice. But I think at a point it's like, you know, hey, KD, I'm probably gonna be on the court with you a lot in order for me to get the runs and be in a comfortable setting. I'm pretty sure Ime is gonna want to put me on the court with you. So, you know, where do you like the ball? Where do you like the ball? How do you like the ball passed to you? You know? And then I'm one of those players like if I'm Ray Shepard, I would reach out to the guards I idolize. I would reach out to John Stockton and ask him questions. You know, I would reach out to Jason Williams because I even said this about Jabbar. I even said this about Jabbar. Like if I'm Jabbar Thompson, I mean Jabbar Smith Jr., I probably would call Dennis Rodman and be like, you know, you want to come work me out once a week or something. You want to come work me out once a week. Tell me how you. Tell me what you was looking at when you was on the court. Tell me how you got better. Tell me what was your defensive tricks. What was your mindset on this set? What was your mindset on switches? What was your mindset on rebounds? You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. And I guess I'm a little ambitious like that. I'm a little ambitious like that. You know, which is why like I always give props to all the sites and shit like stuff I've been on. I mean, obviously I was doing radio before YouTube even started. But I myself personally, I always give shout outs and props to the sites that I've been on because I went on and I mean I go on and I talk to people and I listen to different takes, what takes people have, how they approach their takes, whether I'm on a debate side or I'm on a sports side or whatever the case may be. I'm kind of getting a feel for, you know, studying, studying. And I'll ask like, hey, how do you do this or how do you do that? And especially if I feel like I'm in need of some kind of information, and let me sit around you and be around you and get a feel for, you know, How you gathering your information? That's just me. I'm a little over ambitious sometimes. You go into a new job, hey, I know what I'm doing. Or I go in and I be like, hey, I don't know nothing. Pull out my pad and then show me. I know what I know, but as far as you go, you gonna tell me what you know. And as far as you know, I don't know nothing. I'm learning from you. What you want me to do? How you think I should do it? And then I'm gonna take what I already know and apply it. And that's how you get better. And I don't know if because we don't have like veterans on the team. We do. Now we do. And we got, Jeff Green and stuff like that who won championship or whatever. Um, but the days of real celebrity superstars that's veterans being on the team and getting older and then going to take a position on the bench and coming off the bench and all them days are over. Those guys who been in the superstar level, when they get old, they're like, I'm gonna play until I'm 40 and then I'll just retire. I'm not gonna sit on the bench. He goes crazy. He goes crazy. Like I said before, Kevin Durant he would be extremely, extremely valuable as a bench player. Like you think about it, he could play as a starter for another 4 years, maybe 5 years. And then if he decided, hey, I'm gonna go to the bench for another 5 years, he could probably play until he's like 48. Like literally. Literally. If he was like, you know what, I'm Ray Allen, I'm just gonna go Ray Allen, come off the bench, shoot corner threes in clutch moments, Kevin Durant probably could play for like 48. I'm gonna go be a spot up shooter and just, try to spot up shoot for another 5 years. He could easily play the Ray Allen role. But these guys now, they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. They believe I'm gonna be a starter. And then when they try to demote me to bench player, I'll just ride off into the sunset with my legacy. And that's why we don't have the veterans on the team like, back in I say my days, but a couple years ago, where veterans would get people would get a little diminished skills. They would go to the bench, accept their role, and be a very valuable part for a short period of time, which makes you a much better team. When you got a guy that can play at A++ level and he only comes in for 15, 20 minutes a game, but you're getting A++ off the bench on veteran stats, 12 million a year, 20 million a year, that makes your team very likely to win a championship. That's just what it is. But we don't know if we're gonna see that from any of these guys. We don't know if Steph, LeBron, Durant, Jimmy, we don't know if any of these guys are gonna go to the bench. None of these guys seem like they're gonna sit on the bench. James Harden, none of these guys seem like they want to go to the bench. These guys plan on playing till they're like 40 years old and then just quitting, which I think is, I can't say it's selfish. It's your legacy. I can't say it's selfish at all. I can say that it's going to depreciate the value of the league overall, and the quality of the league more so than the value is going to depreciate the growth of the league exponentially, because where you would have those guys who have a certain skill set on the bench and teaching what they know about the game from an aspect of I got it to teach and pass it down. They're not there no more. They gon' they gonna take their talents right off into the sunset, go do a podcast, crack jokes, drink wine, smoke blunts, maybe do some announcing or some commentating, and that's it. That's it. And that's why the league is looking like it's looking. Now, do I am I bad mouthing the players for doing it? No, I'm not. I don't care whether that's what they do or not. I'm just saying it's what I see. I'm not saying I would do it different if I'm them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's a fact that that's what's going to happen from what I see, and it's going to make players like Armin Thompson not have that superstar veteran on his bench, where Ray Allen or Allen Iverson might have been on the bench for some of these guys when they was coming into the league, you know. But if you look at how Kobe went out on top, never went to the bench, boom. Now you look at LeBron, I'm starting. When I'm not starting, he'll probably be gone. Kevin Durant, not starting. When he's not starting, he'll be gone. Steph, the same. Kyrie, probably the same. None of these guys are going to be on anybody's bench to pass down what they know and what they learn. That's just my view. That's just my view. So what do you get? You get a guy like Jeff Green as your veteran, and you're like, yeah, we got veterans on our team. Yeah, you do, but you don't got veterans. You don't got veterans on your team. You don't got that real guy that was that real boy on your team, you know? And I guess I'm not saying much because Jordan never did it either, you know. I don't even know if Magic did. I think Magic might have played on the bench for a little while. Magic might have came off the bench for a little while. But so look, I appreciate everybody for stopping through. I have part two, the playoffs, round two. I mean not part two, but game two of the Warriors and Rockets game. I might run over that this weekend. Of all the Cowboy fans, sorry for your loss. All the San Francisco fans, you know, whatever, whatever, man. And what else do we got? What else do we got? Uh, well, I got some more stuff. I'm not gonna put it up right now. I'll worry about it when we get to it. But anyway, you have been wanting to stay on red alert, so tap in, turn on, stay lit. This has been Rockets Red Alert, where Houston Hoops meet High Alert. I appreciate you all stopping by, and it's your boy E.F. Hutton signing off. Appreciate you. Peace.